You think you make your own decisions, but right now, someone in your life is making them for you, and you haven't noticed yet. Welcome to Maestro Psychology. Today, we run a test. 5 scenarios, real situations, and after each one, I'll show you exactly what your answer reveals about your psychological position in the world. This is not a quiz about personality types. This is a test of whether you understand power, or whether power is being used against you right now. For each scenario, I'll give you 3 options. Pick the one that honestly reflects what you would actually do, not what sounds best. Your gut reaction is the data. Keep a mental score. We'll interpret it at the end. Scenario 1. Your friend cancels plans at the last minute. Again. This is the 4th time. What do you do? Option A. You say nothing, swallow the frustration, and reschedule with a smiley face emoji. Option B. You express frustration, but when they apologize, you let it go. Option C. You respond calmly. I'm not rescheduling. Let me know when you're actually free. If you picked A, you just demonstrated what psychologist Pete Walker calls the Fawn response. It's a trauma adaptation. You learned somewhere, early in life, that keeping the peace was safer than expressing a need. Option B is honest, but it's incomplete. You expressed the feeling, then handed them the power to dissolve it with an apology. Their sorry costs nothing. Your time cost everything. Option C is the leader pattern. Not cold, not aggressive, just clear. Boundaries aren't walls. They're information. They tell people exactly how to keep you in their life. Most people are so afraid of being disliked that they never send that information. And they spend years resenting people they never corrected. Scenario 2. Your boss hands you extra work. No explanation, no extra pay. Just an expectation. What do you do? Option A. You do it without complaint. You tell yourself it's good for your career. Option B. You hint that it feels unfair. You hope they'll notice. Option C. You say directly, happy to take this on. What existing task should I deprioritize to make room for it? Option A is learned helplessness. Martin Seligman coined this after his experiments with dogs who stopped trying to escape pain because previous attempts had failed. Many workers reach the same state. They've been ignored so many times, they stopped asking. Option B is the most dangerous one. Hinting, hoping they'll notice. This is the language of someone who was never taught that their needs were legitimate enough to be stated directly. The hint always fails, because people in power only respond to clarity. Option C is Machiavellian in the most practical sense. You're not refusing. You're negotiating. You're saying, I have finite capacity, and I treat it with respect. That one sentence forces your boss to either prioritize the work or quietly drop the request. Leaders speak in terms of trade-offs. Everyone else just absorbs. Scenario 3. Someone gives you a warm, unexpected compliment, and then, immediately also, they ask you for a favor. What do you do? Option A. You feel obligated. They said something nice. How can you say no now? Option B. Something feels off, but you help anyway, because you don't want to seem suspicious or rude. Option C. You recognize the pattern, and you decide based on your own priorities, not the warm feeling they just planted in you. Robert Cialdini called this reciprocity. In his book Influence, He documents how a single unsolicited gift, even a cheap mint from a waiter, increases compliance dramatically. Your brain files it as a debt, and most people pay it without ever questioning who issued the invoice. Option B is half awareness. You sense the manipulation, but social anxiety overrides your intelligence. This is where most educated, self-aware people still get caught. Knowing about manipulation and being immune to it are two completely different things. Option C is the literate response. You let the compliment land. You don't reject it, but you don't let it rewrite your decision-making calculus either. The question you ask yourself is simple. Would I help this person if they hadn't said anything nice first? If yes, help. If no, don't. That's it. Scenario 4. A partner, romantic, close friend, family, says to you, "If you loved me, you would do this." What do you do? Option A. You do it. You don't want them to think you don't love them. Option B. You argue the logic. Love doesn't mean I have to do exactly what you want. Option C. You stay calm. Love doesn't come with ultimatums. I'll decide based on what's right, not what's demanded. Susan Forward, in her book Emotional Blackmail, identified the 3 weapons used in this tactic: fear, obligation, and guilt. She called it fog. "If you loved me" activates all 3 simultaneously. It's not a statement of love. It's a demand disguised as a test of love. Option B, arguing the logic, is a trap. Because now you're defending yourself inside a framing they set. You're playing by their rules. The moment you explain why you do or don't love them, you've already lost the argument. You're now proving yourself to a prosecutor. Option C doesn't defend. It reframes. It places you outside the accusation entirely. Notice, it's not cold. It's not cruel. It's just clear. Machiavelli understood this. The most powerful position in any emotional confrontation is calm refusal to accept false premises. That's what leadership looks like under pressure. Scenario 5. You achieve something significant, a promotion, a project, a personal milestone, and someone says, "Oh, you just got lucky." What do you do? Option A. You start doubting yourself. Maybe they're right. Maybe it was luck. Option B. You argue back. You explain all the work, all the sacrifice, all the effort behind the result. Option C. You smile. You say nothing. You let their comment sit in the air. Option A is projection working on you. When someone calls your achievement luck, they are not analyzing your situation. They are managing their own discomfort. Your success activated something in them: comparison, inadequacy, resentment, and they projected it outward, onto you. Option B is almost worse than doubting yourself, because now you're justifying your success to someone who doesn't actually want an explanation. They want you destabilized. Every sentence you speak in your own defense is fuel for them. It confirms that their comment had power over you. Option C is Machiavellian composure at its purest. Silence is not agreement. It's power. You already know what you built. You don't need their ledger. The smile tells them, "I see what you're doing, and it doesn't reach me." Robert Greene called this the law of concealment. Never let them see which words move you. Now. Let's score this. For every time you chose option C, give yourself 1 point. For every option B, half a point. For every option A, 0. Add it up. Be honest. 4 to 5 points. You operate from a place of psychological clarity. You understand power dynamics, not to exploit others, but to protect yourself from exploitation. This is the leader pattern. Machiavelli would recognize you as someone who sees the board. 2 to 3.5 points. You're aware. But awareness hasn't fully converted to action yet. You know the game, but in the moment, old programming kicks in. People-pleasing, conflict avoidance, hoping someone notices. The gap between what you know and how you behave is where manipulation enters. 0 to 1.5 points. You're operating on someone else's programming, not because you're weak, but because nobody ever showed you another way. The Fawn response, learned helplessness, reciprocity blindness, these were installed in you, probably years ago. That's not a verdict. That's a starting point. Here's what no personality test will ever tell you. Psychological manipulation doesn't happen to stupid people. It happens to people who were taught that their needs matter less than other people's comfort, that their voice is too much, that keeping the peace is the same as having peace. Machiavelli wrote The Prince in 1513, and the core observation, stripped of all the politics, was this: there are those who understand how power moves, and there are those who power moves through. The distance between those two groups is not intelligence, it's self-knowledge. You can't unlearn your past overnight, but you can start with one thing. Notice the next time you do option A. Don't judge it, just notice it. Say to yourself, that was the Fawn response. Name it, because the moment you can name it, it loses half its power over you. You came here asking if you're a leader or being controlled. The honest answer is probably both, depending on the relationship and the day. But the fact that you took this test, that you sat with the uncomfortable answer, that's already the leader pattern beginning to emerge. Drop your score in the comments right now. Just the number. No explanation needed. I want to see where this audience lands. And if someone in your life needs to take this test, send it to them. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for someone is hand them a mirror.